Welcome to episode 112 of Chatting with Nuts. This is one of my monthly wrap-ups in a nutshell, as they are generally called, only by me. No one else really calls them that, but it is my reading wrap-up for the entire month of April, just in time for May 1st. There's 3 books we're going to talk about. We have 2 that I completed, 1 that I DNF'd. It is a shocking DNF that should shake the foundations of Chatting with Nuts for the remainder of 2026, if not forever. Major moves happening here. Maybe not for the best. We also got to do the Patron Pick of the month, of course, which is a random pick from one of my patrons. The last month's was a doozy, and we're going to talk about it. Very controversial. Hope you all are doing very well. If this is first time watching, or you're returning to the channel or whatever, welcome. But also, if you don't feel like listening to me talk to the chat, shame on you. But also, you're going to be able to click on the timestamps in the description to jump to just the book talk. You don't have to sit through all the chat interactions, but I do think that the chat interactions kind of make this all worth it. Right? I think. Let's go to the chat, see how people are doing before we jump into all of the books that we have. I'm hoping everyone is doing well. My week was very busy. Work is a bit chaotic, but I'm okay. I've gotten a lot of sun, as you can tell. A little burnt tonight, but all in all, not bad. Not the worst reading month either. Not the best, but not the worst for sure. All right, let's see. Oh, Sarah Beth said, hi, y'all. I definitely need the Chatting with Nuts today. It's been a week. Well, I'm happy to provide that. Was a pleasant surprise that you allowed yourself the DNF. I don't know if you've been paying attention, David, but I've been DNFing a lot more this year. That was kind of my reading pledge for 2026, is that I'm just DNFing things if they're not working. I try still, like there's still a piece of me that always tries to push through, but the trigger is much, much quicker on DNFs for sure. Fantasy Fanatic said, a Friday night it do be, so consider me delighted you shall. And I am, of course, the Friday Night Delight. How could I forget my own tagline? I'm terrible at this. Did I finally watch some more Lost? I have not, but I will watch the first 4 episodes after DNFing after the halfway through the pilot. Not even halfway through the pilot. It was pretty bad, unfortunately. So, oh, hello, Paloma. Good to see you. Jared's here. He said, if Jimmy DNF Gene Wolfe, this is not shocking. He hates good books. Well, tune in to hear my thoughts on Urth of the New Sun. Fun shirt, Jimmy. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a Chubby's shirt. I bought it at the beach, I think, in South Carolina, probably a year or 2 ago. It was pretty great. Tony Patrick says, how's it going? Or asks, rather, how's it going, Jimmy? It's going okay. Not the best, not the worst. I'm pretty balanced, I would say. Good to see you, Hayward. Very, very good to see you, my friend. Pizza in a show. I am very envious of you. I did not get to eat a real dinner. I will be eating dinner after this stream, which is far too late. It'll give me indigestion, and I'm not going to sleep well. But that's all my own fault. What's up, Zeely Green? Matt King, good to see you. Not sure how both you and Dr. Beowulf both DNF'd it, and I finished it. I like your tropical shirt. The shirt of the new sun, perhaps. Good to see you, Britton. What's this? I'm subscribed. Want to know what the acronym means. CWN is Chatting with Nuts. I'm Jimmy Nuts. So you're chatting with me, or I'm chatting with you. We're chatting with each other, if that makes sense. Jimmy, I don't see the sparkle in your eyes this week. What happened? I'm 35. I finally DNF'd Wolf Hall, I guess. Big news coming out of the Camphor area and Sun. Big news. Evie said, I'm still working, fighting the index matching, but here I am and listening. Well, I hope you figure it out. Morning, evening, Jimmy. Ben, it's always good to see you. I believe what... Ben, type in the chat, when are we doing our video game date? I can't remember. Is it Sunday? I think it's Sunday. I'm hoping it's Sunday. I left Protect Our Parks for this. Well, this is much better. First day back in the gym in over 10 years, and this is a nice way to wind down the Friday. Well, good on you for getting back in the gym, and I hope it works out for you. Just steady as you go, and make sure that you're recovering. That's all that matters, okay? Jedi said, I hit 185 on incline bench today. I'm so zen tonight. Good for you. It's awesome. There's some great videos that explain Urth of the New Sun, which I greatly appreciate because I could not push through it either after Book of the New Sun. I will probably be watching those videos as well. Everybody wish Daniel S. Klauser a very happy birthday. He is 44 years young and has been watching my channel for a long time, like a long time. So shout out to you, Daniel. I hope you had a great day, dude. And hey, it's your birthday all weekend. That's just how this works, okay? Hello, Governor. What's up, Kev? Good to see you. Good to see you, Derry. Michael Quinn said it takes a couple running starts. Try again next year. You'll see what even some of the biggest fans me with the same wall. I really blew my mind. Okay. My Sunday night. Okay, thank you, Ben. It's been a week. Also, you were right that Amanda would slaughter me on Book Jeopardy. It wasn't close. I finished with $200 Allen dollars. Yeah, I knew Amanda would absolutely trounce you. There was no chance you were going to have any opportunity to beat her. I'm sorry. What's up, Tom Orange? Good to see you, my friend. I saw you on a reel or something talking about how there's no slog in the Wheel of Time. And I'm just wondering, is big Robert Jordan paying you, or are you a masochist? Please let me know. All right. Brian Bell is my favorite cat tuber. Brian's new cat is very adorable. Okay. Let's get into the first book of the month. It's the first one I did finish. Actually, I did these in order for once, which is really nice. So I will get into that. Also, I want to just shout out Taylor Wimberly here. He said, first time commenting, I've enjoyed watching your streams off and on from the realm of the Outerlings days. What days those were? I actually was talking to someone this week. I was talking to one of my friends, and I said, I think I have underappreciated how much I loved my experience with Realm of the Outerlings, just because, you talk about it, you get differing opinions, which is great and everything. But I think I have really lost the face of my father, as Stephen King would say, or Roland would say from The Dark Tower. That reading experience for me was like top tier, really top tier. And boy, do I miss Robin Hobb's writing. I really, really do. So I'm glad you're enjoying those streams. Those are some of my favorite videos I made. Reading that in Malazan in the same year was nuts. It was fun. Got to get back on the Invincible bandwagon. The violence got me going 8 mode. I'm hollering like a maniac and throwing poop around. Marty said, bunch of NBA Game 6s in the background, Friday Night Delight in the foreground, and a West Coast IPA in hand. Good night, Marty. Marty, that could be the difference. It could be the difference in a Friday night going well and it going poorly. And I think you made the right decision, my friend. So good to see you, Rodrigo. Hob doesn't leave your heart once she sits down or stomps on it, for sure. Okay, let's check this out. First book I finished in the month of April is kind of a sleeper. I think a lot of you guys are sleeping on this new author, and that is Eliza Clark. I know you probably thought I was going to be facetious and say something, like George R. R. Martin. It's not. It's Eliza Clark. Eliza Clark, Penance, which I thought was going to be decent. I really did not think Eliza Clark could live up to Boy Parts, which I read probably 2 years ago at this point. She has a short story collection that I still need to read, but I talked how much I love Boy Parts. And when I think retroactively how much I've enjoyed Boy Parts, that sounds odd. The book Boy Parts. I think it's one of the more standout novels I've read that's been released probably in the last 10 years. It was really amazing and does a lot of really cool stuff. And I believe that was her debut novel. Penance is very, very different while still tackling a lot of unreliable narration. That's something that Eliza Clark did in Boy Parts, I thought, and did it extremely well here. And the coolest thing about Penance is that it is told through many different techniques and devices. There is excerpts from podcasts, from interviews, and then there's the telling of the story, which the story behind Penance is that someone is going in and documenting about a young girl who was murdered by her 3 friends. Were they really friends? What happened? The murder is absolutely brutal. It actually reminds me a lot of the case where I'm from, the Skylar Neese story, which ended up passing Skylar's Law in West Virginia. If you have not heard of that case and you're interested in it, there is a documentary on Hulu called I think it's like Friends Like These or something like that. This reminded me a lot of that case, probably like 70% of it. But then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm not saying Eliza Clark based it on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if she had heard of it at the very least, because it was a pretty horrible, horrible story. This is purely fiction, though. It takes place in the UK, and we get a lot of different accounts of what happened. And most of it is unreliable because the person that is writing the book, you're reading a book that was pulled off the shelves. Like, that's the frame, right? It's a book that was pulled off the shelves for inaccuracies and maybe not the most ethical journalism. So that's the book that you are reading that the author in the story wrote. I love a good frame narrative, and I also love the approach of the multiple devices like podcast excerpts and that kind of thing. It really, really worked for me. This book is very sad. At times I laughed, which makes me sound like a psychopath, but it's sad, but there's also so much satirical stuff when it comes to the true crime podcast excerpts that you kind of have to laugh because it's so over the top, but it's actually not that far from what we see online. And the book goes through many different things. I think Eliza Clark does a phenomenal job of setting up this small town. And I talked to one of my friends, actually Ben, who's in the chat. And Ben has read every single Stephen King book. Like, he's definitely one of the most prolific Stephen King readers I know, if not the most. It's either him or my friend Kev. And I messaged him and I said, Penance by Eliza Clark really has that wonderful town building that we always talk about, and a small community, and how those dynamics work with people that are a bit higher in class, or maybe people that are actually, involved in the local political movements and then kind of, graduate from that. All that's in there. So the local politics matter. The national politics certainly matter, with Brexit being talked about within the story. But I thought the small town feeling and building was like definitely Stephen King-esque, which to me is a huge positive. I really like that piece of of Stephen King's stories, and I think Eliza Clark did it just as good. So I was very thoroughly impressed with that. But at the heart of the story, I think that Penance is trying to address the massive genre and corner of media that is true crime. And I am a massive fan of, I don't even like saying fan, a consumer of true crime, mostly movies and series. I don't do any of the podcasts. And the thing about true crime is that it's mostly disgusting. And I don't mean the crimes. I mean profiting off other people's misery. And sometimes the approach to it is to highlight the perpetrator, the person that's actually committing the heinous acts. And I think that that's in many cases wrong. I don't mind whenever true crime kind of pulls apart the brain of a person who's done a horrible thing, because you do want to know how could this happen and why would this person do that. But unfortunately with true crime, there's just a lot of stuff that leans into it and treats it like a meme, especially on the internet. And like I said, I consume a lot of true crime. Some of my favorite documentaries all the time are true crime. I think there is like an appropriate way or a tasteful way of doing true crime. I just unfortunately think it's like the slimmest piece of the larger genre of it. It's the exception rather than the rule. And I think that Penance actually does a phenomenal job of kind of showing that, and certainly critiquing modern media, more online social media with podcasting, YouTube, whatever it might be, but also saying, hey, this old school way that everybody, goes to, well, like let the people who are in the industry of media and journalism, let them handle it, and kind of saying, well, this isn't a new problem. Ethics apply to every form of reporting or journalism, not just morons on a podcast. And somebody who is in a desperate situation in their publishing career possibly could do something or write something in a manner that might get or garner more attention and more clicks. So I think it's also beyond just criticizing true crime as a genre, but also criticizing the system of whenever money is the motivator and kind of the indication of success, people might lose their ethics potentially. And this author has been pulled off the shelves for reasons. Thought the characters, you kind of get to hear about the girls that committed this, atrocity. And then you learn about the girl who it was done to, and just the way that the characters are profiled and the interviews, and you're questioning whether it's actually legit Are these manipulative questions? How is it being framed within the book, within a book? There's a lot here. And I think it's amazing. I think it's a really great book. I think if you are at all interested in true crime, you should read this. And if you read Boy Parts, which I don't think a ton of people have read that watch my channel, you should. But if you have read Eliza Clark, you like her before, the Penance is amazing. I think it's just as good as Boy Parts. So that does mean that it's getting the nut button, which is kind of ironic because I talk about how true crime memes, and I'm now making a meme about a book that's criticizing true crime. But at this point, what are we even doing here? What are we doing here, B? Okay. This, what was a banger. I know there's probably only about 4 or 5 people in all of my audience that have read this, but if you have, I'd love for you to talk in the chat, or you can leave a comment afterwards. Mrs. Nuts is here, by the way. She's always here. Eliza Clark's one of those hot girl writers, isn't she? I would say Boy Parts definitely falls into that hot girl fiction. Penance, in my opinion, less so. It's not really about an unhinged female character. I guess you could say that doing that would make someone unhinged, but I think it's in a different light than Boy Parts. I would actually be very curious if other people would classify this as hot girl fiction. Mitch said, I read it first, Clout Chaser. I did take a lot of inspiration from you, Mitch, so thank you very much. I lift rocks for fun. Got to be a masochist. You are definitely a masochist, Tom. This isn't the actress from the 100, is it? If it is, that's bonkers. I don't think so, but weirder things have happened. I just found out that, is it Mel? I think it's Mel on the Pit is Bryan Cranston's daughter. What is in that gene pool? They're great. I'm here for the techniques and the devices. Well, this is the one for you then. Zeely. Look at this. That's funny. I read Penance in April too. Oh, but not by Clark. A horror by Kanai Minato. I probably said that wrong, unfortunately. Jimmy, a true crime enthusiast. When it's done tastefully, yes. I would say I end up turning off more true crime docs than I finish. It's also different about what it is, right? Like it depends the topic, because not all true crime ends in a murder. It might just be attempted murder, right? It just depends. So what's up, Anthony? Good to see you. Marty said, this sounds like neither science fiction or fantasy nor grandma fiction. What is going on? This is hot girl adjacent, which is also one of my many genres that I appreciate. Why isn't nuts spelled with 3 T's? I'll have to ask my parents about that. John Darnell's Devil's House is a really good critique on true crime. Andrew, thank you for letting me know that. I will look this up if I can remember it, and I will absolutely check. If it's not forever long, I will probably read it, because I realize that as someone who is conflicted about watching a lot of the true crime content, I really appreciated someone trying to show the face of it all. So I would like to read more like this. Bad Done Well, phenomenal name. Jimmy is the best booktuber. No other booktubers compare. Well, I appreciate that very much. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a part of the booktube sphere anymore. I feel like I'm on my own island. I end up talking about a lot of other stuff on these, unstructured live streams. But I'm just happy that people show up, want to maybe possibly read some of the books that I read, and really just appreciate people listening to me at all. One of the struggles in my life right now is that I feel like I'm not good at communicating. I thought I was, but there's so often I say things and people they don't get the point. They misunderstand it. And at first I was like, man, why don't these people understand me? But once you realize that 4 or 5, 6 people are saying that to you regularly, you have to take a look back and be like, am I making sense? Am I a good communicator? So the fact that I switch topics, I change directions, I probably don't state things in the most articulate way, and people still listen. I mean, we almost have 120 people checking this out live. It'll probably be 3,000 or 4,000 after the fact. Is It's nice. It keeps some of my confidence. Ryan said, the only thing I'm reading this month is Lonesome Dove. It's a big book. That would probably take me 2 months, maybe. Truman Capote's In Cold Blood is good in that regard. It basically invented true crime as we know it today. Okay, very neat. Very, very neat. What's up, Ramus? Good to see you, my friend. Jimmy is the funniest, most insightful, articulate, has the best style, and is the most handsomest. Okay, now I feel like I'm being trolled. I'm going to take it anyways, though. Dang it, Jimmy, I've never read this literary fiction genre, but you are making me want to buy another book, Jimmy. That's what I'm here for. I'm paid by big publishers to push books onto you that are underselling. Here's my boy Ben. He said, superb book, had me questioning it and myself all over the place till the final page. That's the thing. I think Eliza Clark has to be one of my favorite authors when it comes to unreliable narration or story at all. Like all of it. It's just very unreliable and very, very good. I'm going to try to get Mrs. Orange or Miss Orange to read this thing. I think she would like it. That'd be cool. If she does, Tom, will you please let me know what she thinks of it? Unless if she hates it. Oh, it's Eliza Taylor was in the 100. Her character's name was Clark in the show. That's a very, very fair mix-up. What's your favorite crime? Petty theft or stealing from white-collar people. I'm the same way. I love me some grimy crime fiction, but true crime, I'm more pickier. It can become sleazy really fast. Absolutely. And I think a lot of the streaming platforms that are just trying to churn out as much stuff as they can, there's still good stuff out there. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Netflix quality of their true crime documentaries has fallen off a cliff. And there's one studio that does the majority of them for Netflix, and I don't know the studio's name. I forget it. I am so annoyed by them. I have found HBO, as always, to be a bit better about it. I've found most of them to be tasteful. I almost put in two camps. Like Hulu, Netflix do it. Did HBO do it? It's probably going to be at least decent. So, I would love, this is a side, I would love to interview a true crime director. That would be interesting. I would also love to interview Eliza Clark. She'd be cool. Jimmy, I am listening to Tad Williams reading his War of the Flowers on his YouTube channel. He gives you commentary sometimes too on writing. That is really cool, Heidi. That's really, really cool. Because I don't know if there's an audiobook for War of the Flowers. So him reading it, that's pretty cool. Wait, John Darnell, as in the Mountain Goats guy? Oh yeah, okay. John Darnell is the songwriter lead of the Mountain Goats. Awesome band. I think you'd like all his novels, especially Devil House and Wolfe and White Van, both really short. All right, you have my attention, Andrew. Okay, you have my attention. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Jimmy is Def top 5 booktubers just for these live streams alone. I just finished Power of the Dog. Thanks to you. Is such a fun read. I will say, calling it a fun read, we might have to, talk. We might need to figure out what you mean by fun, because Power of the Dog is demented. I know what you mean, though. That's awesome. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. It's awesome. Less is more. Every 2 weeks makes these live shows an event. Heidi, that's always been my aim. Always. Tony said, I was helping my grandmother move things in her house last week, and I found an old edition of Stone of Farewell. I guess that's a sign to read MST next. Do that. I'm going to put this out there. Out of everyone that covers books on YouTube, is there anyone who has live chats or comments more about Tad Williams than me? There's a lot of big fans out there. There's been a lot of really awesome content and interviews, and I'm also just kind of kidding. But my chats and comments have to be the most Tad Williams mentions on YouTube. I've done a lot for Ostenard. I deserve a crown to Ostenard. That's my belief. Someone get on the phone. Get on the phone to Tad Williams. Jenna Rose Reed said, I feel like you are a good communicator, but I understand that struggle. I might be better at talking about books than I am real life plans. That's definitely possible. I do think my job kind of affects it, because developers talk in a certain way that sucks mostly. And I think that I am affected by that, which bothers me a lot. But what can you do? You got to make a living, right? You aren't an island. You're exclusive. Love your face. Thank you. I bet he loves being called the mountain goats guy. Listen, he wouldn't call himself that if he didn't want to get called it, right? Yes, the Netflix true crime slop is definitely sleazy. Yeah, you got to pick through a lot of garbage to find a good one. I will say their older stuff was really, really good, but they don't care anymore. Very obvious. Devil in the White City was great, about a serial killer during the 1893. Yes, I have read almost all of this book because it's kind of a split narrative. It's Holmes and then the World Fair and how they kind of coincided in the history of Chicago. I read that book while I was on a flight to Chicago, in Chicago, and on the way back. I never finished it. It was a nonfiction, kind of autofiction, I guess, if you want to call it anything. The interesting thing about this book is that the dialogue in the book, like it's told very much in a story-like manner, even though it's nonfiction, but all of the dialogue in the book is real dialogue that was said. There is not a line of dialogue in the book that was not recorded or uttered, which I thought was kind of neat. That's Eric Larson, right? If I remember. I mean it. Also trying to make other booktubers in the chat jealous. I appreciate you. I do want to read I'll Be Gone in the Dark. Been meaning to read it for years. Yeah, I watched the documentary. It was pretty good. Also very sad. Go British for true crime. It's ironic you say that because I just watched one. It's not British, but it was from Scotland, and I thought it was really good. Really, really good. Yeah, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. Phenomenal. Rest in peace, Michelle McNamara, for sure. I didn't know the lead singer of the Mountain Goats was an author. Me either. I didn't know who the Mountain Goats were. Good to see you, Thornall. Very good. Jedi talking about Power of the Dog says, it was fun. The ending was so intense. He's really good at building dread. Oh, the tension in that book, you could cut it with a knife, as they say. No, I do feel you are the biggest Tad Williams fan on BookTube. I would like to think I am. I'm in the conversation, and if you're in the conversation, you're dancing. You know what I'm saying? Eliza Clark spoke at a library near me. For anyone who's read Penance, the donkey story was based on a real event. That is preposterous. That's really, really, really cool that you got to see Eliza Clark. Actually, going back to this comment real quick, Eliza Clark published 2 books, a little short story collection. It seems like she's going to be an active author. I hope she has a lot of stories to tell. If I made a list of like newer authors, 2 books or less that seem like they're going to be publishing in the future, I think Eliza Clark would be in my top 5 must buy. If that, I should look at that. I mean, I only started reading a lot of new releases in the last year or 2. But I would kind of like to make a list of like authors that are new, active, and I am going to read everything they put out. They exist, I promise. So maybe that would be a cool Chatting with Nuts video. That'd be cool. And then I can make one about authors I wish would publish a goddamn book. And George R. Martin, Scott Lynch could be on the thumbnail. I guess Patrick Rothfuss. I guess. Just got Tad on the horn. He says he sent the crown to Jim Orange. Check his P.O. box. I closed that down. The oranges went bad, Brian. But wrestlers have a way they talk too. Yeah, I don't talk like a wrestler anymore, thank God. Caught up to the live stream at 2x speed. Now Jimmy is slow. Talk fast, Jimmy. I think I already talk fast enough, to be honest with you. Bad Done Well said, has anyone read The Golem by Gustav Mierik? It's very surreal and esoteric, not at all what I was expecting. It's like Frankenstein meets a Eraserhead. Cool. What's up, Dark One? Taint, good to see you, my friend. Curious what you think make of James Ellroy, Jimmy. I have not read James Ellroy, but I've watched his interviews, and I'll be honest with you, he kind of seems like a jerk off. But I think it might be on purpose, maybe. But his interviews did not make me want to read his books. I'll be honest. I will. I have the Black Dahlia. So, Jimmy coworkers, I'll be like, hey there, brother. It must be exhausting. I just finished Lonesome Dove as my book, one book in April, and it changed my life. Not in the fact that it's a 5 stars kind of way, but rather no one is coming to save us 2 stars kind of way. I have Python Bile. I have also, what a wild name, Python Bile. I have never heard anyone describe a book like that in my entire life. And I have listened to an exorbitant amount of people describe their reading experiences. You know what? Kudos to you. And I'm glad it was something at least. What's up, Eric? Said, didn't you DNF Otherlands or move it to later? I did DNF Otherland on book 2. I appreciate a lot of what was going on, but my God, was it meandering a little bit. Some of the craziest ideas Tad's ever had in Otherland. But hey, I can only be honest, okay? But you bring up a good point. There's probably someone who loves Otherland and all of his work, so they're probably, honestly, they deserve the crown. Though, hold on. I did say I wanted the crown for Ostenard. So I'm still on the hunt. I would love to hear a video discussion on new authors, Jimmy. I should do that. I'll get the actually people to be like, well, actually, they're not new. They published in 2019, which was 7 years ago. We're all dying. Marcus Kleiwer, is that for me? 2 for 2 so far. I'll be honest, Tom, I don't know who that is. Does he write books about picking up rocks? Because you like picking up rocks. Let me know. Ramus said, no other booktuber gives me such a good dishwashing content. I'm so thankful for you, bro. Is that good? I don't know. Oh, okay. Marcus Quire, which why do you got to read people? You're reading authors I can't pronounce their names of. It's very rude, Tom. Fantastic horror author. Okay, very cool. Deadly Harbor still said, did you see R. Scott Baker mention he's writing a prequel? I did. I read through all of that stuff, and I'm going to be dead honest with you. I was very confused because it sounded like he wanted to work on stuff, and then he had this comment where he basically was like, yeah, I basically was trying to force myself into writing the No God duology. He was basically saying, like, by saying it in public, he was hoping it would give him a kick in the pants, but sometimes you have to accept that things are the way they are in defeat. But then he says he's writing a prequel, and I'm just very confused by all of it. He also mixed up, I think, Kelmomus and Kellus. It was weird. It was really weird. And he's already pretty hard to decipher on his blog. Like, he's way too smart for me. But yeah, I don't know what to take away from all those posts. I couldn't tell if he was like messing with us. It was weird. But I hope R. Scott Baker does write more. Both Eliza Clark books are available on Kindle Unlimited. Say less. It's free. You got to try it. You have to try it. Now, every single person that's watching this has to try Penance or Boy Parts. Ironically, I should have said this at the beginning because people probably already tuned out. Penance is way more of a recommendable book than Boy Parts. I think Boy Parts is equally as amazing, but Boy Parts is very, very specific. And I just don't know how many people would enjoy, one, how messed up it is, but two, the way the story is told. I think it's a little bit of a harder sell. I think Penance is actually a lot more approachable, personally. And you still get what Eliza Clark is good at, which is really awesome. Being able to recommend to more people is always a good thing without sacrificing the art, their artistic quality or personality of it. So thanks for shouting that out, Fantasy Fanatic. If you could pick 2 of your favorite authors to team up and write a book together, who would your dream team be and why? That's a hell of a question. Man, that's a tough one. I'm leaning like George R. Martin and Steven Erikson, but I think that's just so cringe because it's so obvious. I'll tell you what. I'll go with a bit of a different time. This is stupid. I would say David Mitchell and Barbara Kingsolver. Give me an Appalachian David Mitchell novel, and we're going Sizzler. Like we're kicking it off. That would be sweet. Ryan, that's a really good question. And if I had more time to think about it, I probably could say something a little bit more compelling. Elroy is kind of an act kind of. I'll read one of his books, Britton. Don't worry. Tony said, who's an author you like, but you know has potential to be an all-time favorite if they locked in? Mine is Brandon Sanderson. I think the boat for me ever letting Brandon Sanderson enter my favorite authors has sailed. I think he has his way of doing things. It works for him. Millions of people love his works, and I am very, middling on it. I love some of it, not so much the others. The recent stuff I really haven't liked, and that's fine. So Brandon Sanderson would not be mine. Who is an author you like, but you know has potential to be an all-time favorite if they locked in? God, Tony, that is a tough question. I would be curious what other people think. I almost read this question as like, who's an author you wish was one of your favorites, but you find mid? That's and now that I say that, I mean, I guess it could be Brandon Sanderson. Except I am fully convinced that it could never happen, so I don't want to say him. Oh, somebody give me one of the mid books I read. I've read a lot of mid books. I don't have a good... I'm sorry, I do not have a good answer for this. Brandon Sanderson is my cop-out. We'll go with the cop-out answer there. I don't think that you're too far off with that one. Let me just look at my books. There's got to be something here. No, there ain't a goddamn thing. All right, so Tony, good question, though. Very, very good question. Also had something on my mind that sparked, and I forgot what it was. I hate that. I recommend it to all Gothic horror fans out there. Think 1850s ghetto in Prague. Twisted buildings like grimacing faces, sickly fog, threading the rain-soaked cobblestone streets like a miasma. That sounds sick. I'm not going to lie. Mitch said, I only read this month because I had nothing else to do on transit. Was thinking about Final Fantasy VII the entire time, though. Was like I was having an affair. Nay, even better. Oh, I wish you many more affairs in the future, Mitch. Not really. Your wife seems wonderful. Janice said, is the Baker prequel confirmed? I saw it too, but I didn't believe it since it was... Who knows? Who knows? Ryan, I do believe that Baker is more of a gardener, as they say online. But talk about a guy who seems like a massive jerk, R. Scott Baker. I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is like R. Scott Baker is combative with people who throw labels on him that he doesn't feel apply. I've also seen him just defend his story passionately. And to be honest with you, as someone who's written stuff and had feedback, I think having the agency to like respond is actually completely okay. Would I do it in a professional setting? Probably not. But if you go back and look at a lot of the older authors, like I'm talking like older, like Virginia Woolf and stuff, like they would have responses of what people had said. Like, and Virginia Woolf could be spicy. So this isn't, I guess what I'm saying, this is not uncommon and I don't really mind it. But I also don't know him. He might be the worst. So who knows? This real Baker. This seems as if he might be writing more. Ordered Penance. Good. I'm glad. A hard to understand Baker post? Surely not. Apparently, it's pronounced like cleaver when I was trying to say cleaver earlier. That's how the audiobook said. Thank you very much. Me included, try Eliza Clark. Jimmy, do you want to open that can of worms? I have no idea if you would like it, to be honest, Ryan. Jimmy, you can't be hard on yourself about communicating and then give R. Scott Baker a smart pass unless you yourself have invented 20 proper nouns that start with C or have your own screwed up block. There's a lot of X's and Z's in R. Scott Baker's glossary as well. I wonder if Baker has ascended so far and has become so much more intelligent than us. He's in beautiful mind territory. I don't think so. I do think he's bright, but I don't think. Good question. Gene Wolfe and someone else. What if you did like a Gene Wolfe and see you would almost like be interesting to take two authors where you combine their strengths. So immediately when I think of Gene Wolfe, I think of memory being a theme, which is also something that Kazuo Ishiguro does. So what if they got together and wrote a novel? Like that could be insane. Or do you just go wildly out of left field and do let's just say like Brandon Sanderson, because he was mentioned, like Brandon Sanderson and Ishiguro. Could you imagine that? Like a fantasy novel with Sanderson's world building and then Ishiguro's execution, or China Mieville. Oh my goodness. We would be cooking, I would say. Get Scott Lynch and China Mieville collabing ASAP. Ken Follett for Jimmy. Hey, but honestly, Kev, both messages, solid contributions to the stream. I think you might be onto something there. Winds of Winter by James Patterson and George R. Martin. We're all waiting. Mieville, if he locks in for the ruse, we'll see. Mid, hot take Stephen King. If you take an average, that might not be. Mark Lawrence for mid books, a little lower than mid. A little lower. John Gwynn would be my answer to that question. Love what he writes about, but wish he wrote more like my favorite writers. I have said that, like with the new stuff coming out, I'm hoping Gwen kind of goes for it a little bit more, but I can never fault somebody for delivering what his audience wants, and his audience definitely wants more of what he does. And I think he's really good at it. So I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm with you. A good answer to the lock-in author, Stephen King, when he is not in the groove mid, when he's firing a full strength S tier. I don't think that that's actually that controversial of a take. There's been a lot of books, Tommy Knockers and such, that people think are hot garbage. And then you have 11/22/63 and Pet Sematary. And I may have started a revival. It's pretty good so far. Authors used to talk so much trash about each other. It was wild to see some of this stuff. Gwen and Cornwell, so all the battle fatigue would be removed. Oh, James Islington for me, with an exception or two. He's locked into mid. Okay, interesting. Virginia Woolf has some epic literary feuds. Yeah, for sure. Edgar Allan Poe was notorious in getting into arguments with everyone. I think his house is very close to me, if I'm not mistaken. Clive Barker and Stephen Graham Jones would be horror heaven. That could be fun. That's another CWN you could do. Combine authors for funsies, crazy combos, and sinfully wonderful synergy. What a great phrase. Sinfully wonderful synergy. That could be like a tagline to a brand or a YouTube channel. Somebody run with that. That would be really cool. Clive Barker plus China Mieville. I think that would be crazy. That could be a lot of fun. Authors with the same last name but different genres, like Wolfe and Wolfe. It's actually really funny. Terry Pratchett and Matt Dineman. I don't know if I'd read that one, but that would be interesting. John Gwynn. People are chiming in. Favorite author if they locked in Rothfuss. I don't know if he's ever going to lock back in, I'll be honest with you, which is just a shame because, people love him. So let us go to the second book. Jimmy, we visit the Poe Museum when I visit the area. If you'd like to, sure. Absolutely. I would love that. Glad someone appreciate my stoned hot takes, Jimmy. Jared said Ishiguro plus Mitchell. Ishiguro is the better prose stylist, but Mitchell's concepts would fit him perfectly. Jared, I strongly agree with this, and I think that it could be really interesting to see like Ishiguro get pushed a little harder into the supernatural or speculative, whatever you want to call it, the fantasy elements. Could be pretty cool. I also think that if they split the characters, would be awesome because Mitchell is a phenomenal character voice writer, I think. Happy Friday, James and Kelsey. Well, happy Friday to you too, you lovely people. Okay. Let us go to book 2, which is Hunger by Knut Hamsun. This was the Patreon pick of the month from Kyle R., I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a very short book. So it was like 186 pages. And this book is about someone who is basically starving to death and is in a large city and is never named. This is an anonymous character that we follow through in first person and is really, from what I've read about this book, this is kind of the quintessential modernism novel. It's what people point to when they talk about modernism in literature. This guy is it. And he's also been influenced by many other, well-known authors, which would be Dostoevsky is the one I thought of immediately. Kind of that manic, panicking, am I going psycho feel? This has that which Dostoevsky does do. I'm not a big fan of his, but I those aspects I found interesting in his works that I've read so far, I've attempted to read so far. This book has it. This book is not just about physical hunger with food, but it's actually about hunger for everything else. I think connection, he's hungry for connection. He's hungry for love and lust and success. So hunger really encapsulates many different facets of this person's life and what they're going through at the time. And in this big city, I felt like this character was just alone. And that isolation when you're in a big city is kind of unlike anything else that you could ever think of. Obviously on a smaller scale, and I've talked about this, feeling alone in a room full of people is very awkward. But imagine being in a city and feeling like that. And it reminds me a lot of Kelsey's cousin, and he lives in New York City, has lived there for like 30 years. And we were walking through New York City, and we came up to where I think the Symphony is, near Central Park. And he was kind of looking around, and I was like, man, I can't believe how many people are out this late. And he told me, he's like, the thing about living in New York City is that you're never alone. And I was, that's true. You're literally never alone, right? And here's a character in the middle of a large city that feels so alone and is trying to hold on to any little morsel of self-respect and dignity that they can as they are starving to death. It's a very, very thought-provoking novel, but also very sad and very difficult, I think, to read through this first person. It's a stream of consciousness, which I did not expect. The one thing this did do for me, and it's mostly positive, by the way, I should have said that, and I'll get into why in just a second. The stream of consciousness in this is not going to be like my favorite all time. I think he executed it very well. But what it made me kind of realize is I actually very much enjoy that stream of consciousness approach. Not always, but I started to crave it more after reading this, which immediately made me think of Solenoid that I started. And I was like, I'm going to wait till I can focus on this. Immediately thought of Solenoid. It's another translated work that's recent and has done very, very well. So I found myself almost wanting to be done with this and then go read something else that's stream of consciousness. And I unfortunately haven't got to that point yet. Now I have a little tagline down here as controversial. And this is the part that sucks. And I'll be honest with you, as soon as I found this out, I was like, do I even read this thing? Hamsun was at best a Nazi sympathizer. At worst, he's a full-blown Nazi, and he is. And we're not talking about, just throwing around the word Nazi. I mean legitimate Nazi. Had dinner with Adolf Hitler multiple times. Supposedly was one of the only people that could argue with Hitler, which I thought was kind of fascinating. But yeah, this dude sucks. That sucks. And it made me feel weird about reading it. I didn't buy it or anything. Not that he would really benefit from it at this point, right? He's been dead for a long, long time. I would probably prefer not to read books written by Nazis. Like, that would probably be really cool. Maybe that'll be one of the patron rules from now on. You cannot pick a Patreon pick that is written by a Nazi. So that sucks. And then you read the novel and you're like, man, this is really interesting. This is really deep. It has me thinking about all this stuff, has me reflecting on how I feel about isolation in various forms of hunger, probably not physical. Obviously, I'm very fortunate in that regard, of course, but other different types of hunger and what they do to you in your psyche whenever you're not satiated. That's a very compelling through line for a story. But at the end of the day, the entire time I was thinking, this guy's a Nazi. This sucks. He sucks. But it's a provocative novel. I ended up on mostly positive. I try not to dock it too many points for being a Nazi, but it certainly got knocked for that because, Nazis suck. But also, it made me more so be like, oh, maybe I should give Dostoevsky another chance. I should go read Solenoid. And it was more of like, I appreciate that this was so influential, And I don't have any notes about the execute. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what I said, and what it does as good as it ever could. So it is, I think I can say it is a great piece of literature. It just wasn't my favorite. So the story was compelling, very provocative. So let's see if anybody, when I mentioned this book, sorry, hit my mic. That was probably terrible for your ears. I apologize. When I talked about this book last time, when I figured out what it was, Patron Pick or whatever, there were people in the chat saying it's like their favorite book ever. And I could see why, to be honest with you, like just the way it's written. I've really not read many things like it. Obviously Stream of Consciousness, I talked about other works, but like the approach to it here is very different. So I'd like to see what, I guess what people think about my take. So pretty sure I've had cereal called Knut. Maybe, possibly. This book was ahead of its time. Many would say, Matt, that it set off the beginning of time for modernist novels, right? Not going to lie, Ishiguro is great at prose the way Hemingway is great at it. Yeah, very simple. Very, very simple. I see Knut Hamsun tolerated no games after his hunger. Yes, I read this actually in response to reading The Hunger Games. This is just Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Dude, that is absurd. When was Hunger published? In like what year? Oh, sorry if I missed it. Late 19th century, I believe. You'll have to double check me on that. Sounds good. If it sounded interesting at all, you should check it out. It is, I mean, you can find it all over the place online for free, but also very short, which is great. Inside, Llewyn Davis reminded me of Hunger. Okay. Memories and Pain. If you enjoy Stream of Consciousness, I highly recommend Virginia Woolf. To the Lighthouse is the one I would like to read from her first. I need to read some of her works. I heard his name so many times, I had no idea he was a Nazi until you stream. Well, he's a Nazi. Like, what do you even say? I would probably prefer not to read books by Nazis. It's not a sentence I expected to hear tonight. Yeah, I know. I'm so brave standing up against Nazis, right? Yeah, unfortunately, really crappy people have created great art. It sucks. Well said, Paloma. Like, you don't have to say anything else, like separate the art from the artist, or don't read. You just say, hey, man, some people are really good at what they do and just happen to be, dumpsters of human beings. Just is what it is. Sounds pretty interesting, to be honest. Thought-provoking stories are sometimes irresistible. Contact by Carl Sagan's really did that to me. If at all any of this sounded interesting, I think that you could definitely get something out of this. Terrible people can create compelling art. Absolutely. How about combining novels with the same title? This Hunger combo with The Hunger by Whitley Stieber, which is a vampire novel. Okay. Very cool. At least it was written like 50 years before. Yes, he did write this long before Nazi Germany became a thing. Wow, I loved Hunger. I didn't know that about old Knut. I only knew because someone said it in the chat. Knut. I need to say it right. Knut. I'm sorry. We're going to be doing one thing and one thing only. Reading Nazis. My favorite Brad Pitt quote from The Inglourious Basterds. Mitch, you're on fire tonight, dude. Deeply flawed people can make some exceptional art at the end of the day. Sure. Donated his Nobel Prize medal to Joseph Goebbels. Fucking hell. That's when I saw that, I was already off it. And then to hear that he was having dinner with Hitler, I was just like, well, that's not good. I found a writer-director to be a new favorite artist this month, but unfortunately, I think he sucks. Not as bad as this guy, though. There's a spectrum of sucking. Also, I do find the idea of feeling lonely in a densely populated area almost exacerbated. Almost feel a bit of that myself at the moment in my new place, but I'm like, this guy, I have all of you. Well, David, I'm glad, and you'll make your connections. I know that you moved and stuff. You'll make the connections. You're too good of a guy not to find people. So, the man knew such hunger that he accepted to eat with Hitler. Fuck. Oh, Andrew's Wizard of the Reed said, Jimmy, I just finished War of the Flowers and it was amazing. Tad is a great human being. Andrew, is this the only book we've ever agreed on? And if it is, that's fine because it's so obscure and no one reads it. Like, you didn't like it. You said it was amazing. Honest to God, that made my week. Andrew, thank you for popping in and telling me that. That makes me so happy. I think it's one of the best fantasy standalones ever. I really do. Uh, he was the guy who donated his Nobel Peace Prize to Goebbels to try to curry favor. It didn't work. Yeah. It's wild to me that he betrayed his own country to the people who were invading. Apparently, one of the things that he argued with Hitler about was Hitler was talking about the Jewish population within his country and what he wanted to do to them. And I guess he like snapped at Hitler and lost it. And I guess Hitler, obviously he was a terrible person, but like nothing was up for debate. And he is like the only person ever to push back on Hitler face to face and really like not suffer, which I thought was interesting. But I'm like, why only stand up for your Jewish population? It was very odd. He is the only person in history to donate his... Okay. Tad Williams once had dinner with Gurham, just saying. Yeah, they're good friends, I think. Andrew said, we rarely agree, but it's fantastic. I truly love it. Andrew, I'm... Like, first off, it's just nice when someone loves something. I love that, and I love that for you. But the fact that it was the War of the Flowers, dude... You were welcome to the club, my friend. I'm going to send you a jacket. It's embroidered with flowers and a jazz bandwagon on the back illustrated. All 16 of us stand together, united for what is an amazing novel. Snapping a Hitler, bold move. I would say so. Maybe read Night by Elie Wiesel to balance out the reading of a Nazi author. I would like to do that. So moving off of a Nazi who happens to be a very good writer, we're going to jump into my DNF for the month. And unfortunately, it was Urth of the New Sun. And yes, I know it's supposed to be amazing, and I don't get it. I don't. I DNF'd this bad boy about 60% of the way through, maybe 50. I don't know. I lost track. I was having so much trouble picking it up, and it ruined my reading for the month. I was on fire, like really doing well. Penance was a slammer. Hunger was thought-provoking. I was gearing ready to go. I started Revival by Stephen King. Pumped for it. Been pumped for it. Also, Andrew said, let's go. Dude, your jacket's in the mail, bro. It's just the four of us. So Urth of the New Sun, I started reading it really fast at first, like because I was going to do a discussion with a bunch of awesome people. And also, I was supposed to read this about to like a year and a half ago, and I just didn't. And I was super excited for it. I started reading it, was not feeling it at all. And I said, hey, wait, Book of the New Sun. The way I read that was over like 6 months, and I did it a chapter or two at a time. I listened to Alsbo Soup, which is a great companion podcast, at least in my opinion. Got a lot out of the reading experience. Book of the New Sun would probably make a top 10 favorite series list for me. I really love Book of the New Sun. Not all of it, but like enough to be like, this is a favorite of mine. Oh, and then I got to this. So I said, okay, let me slow down. Let me read 1 or 2 chapters a day. And at first I was kind of digging it. And I started listening to the podcast. I was like, I don't really want to listen to it this time because like I don't want to be influenced or whatever. And the few episodes I listened to, I realized how much symbolism is in there, which Gene Wolfe obviously loves. And I just realized like, I just don't care. I just do not care for a plethora of like Catholic symbolism or historical symbolism. And I know that probably makes me a moron, but I don't care. I don't care. I was over it. And the other 2 things that I realized reading Urth of the New Sun, which by the way is a sequel, Severian is in it. It's a different setting. The setting happens to be a spaceship that is kind of trippy to think about. Like in concept, I thought it was cool. But the 2 things I pulled away from this are, 1, I didn't realize how much the Dying Earth, which is like my favorite setting in fantasy or sci-fi, the Dying Earth concept, or setting rather, was far more important to Book of the New Sun and its enjoyment for me than I realized. The Dying Earth setting is certainly played a role, I knew, but not this much. And when I see Severian not in the Dying Earth setting, I'm kind of like, eh. And I know, by the way, that apparently, back 40%, whatever, I know that changes, and I would be thrilled if I continued. I don't have the patience to do so. I'm sorry. I just don't. And here's the other thing. And this is something I've heard other people say about other series, and I've never understood it until I experienced it. Much like Dick Cheney not understanding that people might love someone of the same sex until it happened to him, of course, which always tends to be the case. so as humans, we usually can't like understand something until it happens to us. We're just dense, right? I got exactly what I needed out of Severian as a character in Book of the New Sun. I got his story. Of course, there's more. But to be honest with you, I just looked at it and I just said, oh, yeah, it's Severian. I didn't miss you. I got exactly what I wanted out of Book of the New Sun and Severian as a character. And here we are. We're back with Severian. And I'm done with Severian. I don't really want to read more from him. He can be snarky. He can be funny. Even sometimes very sympathetic, especially in Book of the New Sun. He can be an asshole. But overall, I just really, really didn't want to read any more from him. And my friend Philip Chase felt the exact same way. So I felt a little bit vindicated. I'm not saying Severian's a bad character. I'm not saying that people shouldn't want more. I'm just saying for me personally, I was like, oh, I'm happy with the story I got. I don't need any more of this. And like I said, I've heard other people say that before about series, and I never understood. I'm like, if you like a series, why wouldn't you want more? Turns out, that's a real thing, and I experienced it. So that's where I'm at. I did not enjoy the ship setting because I couldn't grasp where I was. Even like imageries, whatever. I don't imagine many things when I read. I just couldn't get a grasp on it. And then, like, I don't know, within the first 4 chapters, Severian meets a woman. Of course, she's, is there going to be an attraction there? Oh, she might want to kiss me. It's like, okay, dude. All right. Now, to bail me out with the wolf heads, okay, I want to say this. I have read other Gene Wolfe this year. The 5th head of Cerberus. That's a top 3, top 2 book of the year for me so far. And I actually think 5th head is better than Book of the New Sun. I don't actually think that's that controversial of an opinion because a lot of people consider 5th head to be one of the best sci-fi, works of all time. I like 5th head more than Book of the New Sun, and I think reading it prior to this and then getting back into this and feeling a little bit wonky with Severian didn't do it any favors. I think I'm wolfed out for the year, possibly. I do really want to read Peace by him. I've heard Peace is really good. I've had people say specifically for my taste that I would really like it, so I think that would be pretty sick. So I'm not done with Gene Wolfe, maybe for the year. But yeah, unfortunately, I just did not enjoy this very much. And I DNF'd it because it was ruining my reading month. It's tough. It's tough, right? I think for me, I would like to try his other works at a time where I don't feel so exhausted. I'm also exhausted. Like I've just been very, very, very burdened lately, which is fine. But I also don't know if I was giving this the full shakeout. But now I'm just going to watch a bunch of media death cult videos about it, and it'll be sick. So it's totally fine, right? All right, here we go. Let's see. Joanna, who is one of the people I was supposed to chat about this with, said, oh, no. What in the hell is an Urth? It's Urth. I hear Revival is a great king. I've always heard that it's like kind of underrepresented from his fandom. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I'm enjoying it. It's a little bit different than what I thought, even from like my expectations, but also then the beginning of the novel, it kind of switches. I was kind of surprised, but I'm enjoying it. I hope I finish it this month. I haven't read Gene Wolfe, but I think Urth equals Urth. I really do think you might like the second half of Urth. We will never know. Oh, Revival is a fun read. Very underrated. Okay, see, someone said it's underrated. The moral of the story is never do a buddy read with me. I couldn't agree more, Brian. Too nervous to read Urth. Just did my reread a Book of the New Sun, but not sure about Urth. I can't speak for you, but I was honestly considering reading Book of the New Sun at the end of this year, and Urth killed all motivation to do that. For now. I'm not saying I'll never reread it, but just for now. I heard Urth has one of the best endings. I'll find out when I read all the spoilers. Revival is a solid King entry. Okay. Andrew, I don't know why. I knew you read Stephen King, but I didn't know how much you've read Stephen King. Have you read a lot? Jimmy is just trying to make I Samwise cry with that DNF. I hate disliking books that my friends like. It's the worst, man. I always support a DNF. Life's too short. I've kind of hit to that point, honestly. Thinking of checking out Von Beck from Moorcock. A new edition came out of the people who made the 3 Elric card. I actually have it, and I read the first chapter or two. I thought it was pretty good. I would like to continue Elric before I read Von Beck, I think. I still need to read Citadel of the Autarch, love Alzabo's Soup. I listen to the podcast after each chapter. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do that, in my opinion. I support never DNFing. I just make myself suffer, which is why you like the slog. Maybe you'll like Book of the Long Sun, the Short Sun. It's a different setting with new characters. I heard that for the first time this past week, and that I will try them. I will try them simply because of that, for sure. Brian said, I read this book entirely because I wanted the zero emotional character attachment when bad things happen, and that success. To quote Philip Chase, I have more attachment to my toaster than Severian. I think it makes you smart. It helps you see all the stuff Christopher Rocchio rips off from the overall concept of Sun Eater. So, Sam might get offended if he's still here. Sam is a good guy. He understands. You can't force a Gene Wolfe book. You are either in the mood or you aren't. No middle ground. Yanis, 1,000%. And when I read Fifth Head of Cerberus, I was so in a Gene Wolfe mood. I think I even remember like 2 streams before I read it, I was like, I'm feeling some Gene Wolfe. I'm ready to get back because I do love a lot of what he's done. I started the Wizard or the Knight, whichever one comes first, and I was loving it. And then I put it down because I got a little bit annoyed with one of the scenes that, it's the same thing Gene Wolfe always does. Young kid, Portal Fantasy, kid ages up immediately and has his first, encounter with a woman. It's just typical Gene Wolfe shit. And I said, you know what? When I have a little more patience, I'll go back to that. So I actually will finish the Wizard Knight or whatever the 2 books are called, independent. So Mitch said, don't try Long Sun, in my opinion. No, do it. We're really going wild places tonight with the Friday Night Delight. That's what I'm here for. Urth is a weird book and a weird read, but it really kind of explains everything that happens at the end. Yeah, and that's the thing. I was kind of excited for it. I don't know. It's unfortunate. I don't know if I'm smart enough for Worth. Sure you are. Sure you are. Wasn't Wolfe mad he had to write this book? I've heard 2 different renditions of this. I heard that I've heard somebody say that he didn't want to write it, and then I heard that it was like he had some sort of book deal, and then he actually wanted to write that. It's very confused. I can't remember, unfortunately. Joanna said, I felt this way about Koth at the end of Wise Man's Fear. I enjoyed Kingkiller Chronicles, but I grew so tired of being in Koth's head. Valid. Now that I've experienced it, I can sympathize. Joanna, I was tired of Koth at 50% of Wise Man's Fear. At least you guys made it through Name of the Wind. I actually thought the other night I was a bit non-sober, and I thought about the fact that I almost started rereading Name of the Wind. It is the burden of a man that each and every single woman he meets must be attracted to him. I know the feeling, alas. I'm glad someone shares my burden, Thornall. Wise Man's Fear is so fucking good, Hayward says. I enjoyed a lot of it. It has one of the coolest fantasy concepts of all time. I have the Fifth Head of Cerberus on my nightstand. The sci-fi booktube community just loves it. And now Jimmy, Heidi, I do love it. There's a part of it that is very dense. The second novella, because it's 3, I think it's 3 novellas, 3 short stories combined. The second part was a bit rough, but whenever I finished the story, I looked back on everything and I was like, dude, this is sick. I think in my wrap up this year, I said, I'm playing with the word masterpiece. I still don't know if I'd consider it a masterpiece, but I can tell you it's one of my favorite sci-fi things I've read. Bad Done Well said, read Book of the New Sun. I love my own headcanon about what happened at the end. Severian's ministry and the final test of mankind he was meant to undertake. Urth seems like it would rob me of that mystique. Dude, first off, awesome. Secondly, just let it sit then. If you have your own thing and I think that's phenomenal. And at the end of the day, and this is very counter to what I do here and what we all do, which is come online and look for book and book recommendations and discuss these books. At the end of the day, I think that reading is an amazing solitary activity. And if it wasn't for things like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram or whatever, message boards back in the day, Live Journal, Zanga, remember those? I think that a lot of people would have more unique thoughts. And I don't mean this to be like everyone's the same normies. I'm the same way. We're just influenced. I mean, we're human beings, so we get influenced by the discussion around things. I sometimes very much miss what you're talking about, which is having your own interpretation of things, having your own headcanon for things. One really funny thing I always talk about is how Maquin in The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne is apparently bald. I never, ever, ever, or wait, no, I'm sorry. I pictured him as bald and he had hair. It's one or the other. Sorry, I can't remember. But basically, I thought he was one way. And John Gwynne was like, what are you talking about? He does or does not have hair, whichever one it was. And I was like, that's cool, John, but I got this. I'm going to keep Maquin in my head as a character that I know him as and ignore the descriptions that are literally objectively in the book. And I love that. So there's something about making a reading experience your very own, especially with something as complex and as, slippery as Book of the New Sun. I think that's amazing, dude. Keep it there. Just read the spoilers for it. It explains a lot of cool stuff in Book of the New Sun. And that's the thing. Like, that sounds like something I want, but it's just not what I was getting. DNFs make you live longer. Joanna said Death Media Cult's Book of the New Sun videos are the best. Yeah, he's one of the better ones out there, right? Alzabo Soup sucks the soul out of books, in my opinion. I don't know if you're being serious, but that's a pretty heavy accusation. Revival is cool, seems like throwback for King. The one thing I'm going to say about Revival is and Stephen King in general, my God, he loves a good car accident. And I know he got hit by the van, guys, I know. But my God, he really, really likes vehicular manslaughter. Big fan, massive fan. Long and Short Sun are so good. I will give them a shot. Revival is different. The plot kind of plays in the background of the slice of life moments of the main character. It's masterful, to be honest. Very cool. Hey, Gene was one of my only DNFs too. Not feeling alone in a big city anymore. Good callback there. Strong callback coming out of Australia there. Urth. No, this is Urth. Isn't this on Invincible? I do not know. Revival is where I point people to when they are new. A king is when they say that new king is bad. I love the book. When did he write it? You got to have another book to read alongside Book of the New Sun. Binging it is just a recipe for disaster. Yeah, Book of the New Sun, I took my time with and I had a blast overall. Andrew Wizardly Read, I asked him how many King books. He's read 40-ish. That's like what, half his, probably less than half of his, is it discography or bibliography? Bibliography? Dude, good on you. Is he one of your favorite authors? I'm so curious. How much Stephen King have you read, Jimmy? Let's just think. So I always say this. I'm a massive Stephen King fan because I watched all of his adaptations, all the 4 TV adaptations. Like, that is what I lived on as a child. My dad and me would watch all of them, like Rose Matter, Pet Sematary original. Let's talk about Tommy Knockers, which actually, I know it's a terrible book, but I remember like Tommy Knockers, knocking at your door, and playing that with my friends. Jeez. So my love for Stephen King comes from his horrendous adaptations for TV and movies. So books I've read The Stand, It, Pet Sematary, Salem's Lot, 11/22/63, and all the Dark Tower books, which with Went Through the Keyhole, I think is 8 books. So I've read like 13 or 14 Stephen King books. By the way, one of my next streams for Chatting with Nuts, one of my general episodes, is going to be what authors have I read the most books from? And it's kind of funny. Whenever I looked at it, I was like, okay, there are some on here that shouldn't be on here. Stephen King's not one of those people, but just reminded me. So what do we got here? I enjoy King Joel. Okay, so he does like it. I will be starting Gloriana from Warcock either tomorrow or Sunday. Very exciting. I'm told it's his best single novel. I've never heard of that, and I would love to know. Unsubscribe. Jared Henderson, massive philosophy influencer, says to unclap, clap, subscribe, or scribe, clap. I would listen to him. And many of you already are. I'm losing about 20 or 30 subs every month, which is depressing. Typical Gene Wolfe, typical 80s. Yeah. I think Quoth is the best character voice I've ever read, but Tyrion, Cersei, and Titaglia are up there. I did not expect the last one in that list. That's interesting. I was tired of Koth after 100 pages of The Name of the Wind, but I still read all of it and book 2. I like Kingkiller Chronicles. There's a lot I love about it, and there's a lot of stuff that I found kind of annoying, but like overall, I can't pretend like I didn't have a blast. So we might be reading Cerberus over at Leanna soon. Oh, I wonder if she'll like it. I never know with her. I never know. As he was editing Book of the New Sun, his editor said that there's no ending, so he began this, but due to an external contract shenanigans, it got delayed for a few years. Okay, thank you. I actually like the first half of this book much better than the second. Well, good God, googly moogly. I will not be reading the second half. Have been on a hunt for Cerberus, but no luck. New Sun was just too wolfy, but did finish. Okay, very cool. I hope you can get the 5th head. I think it's really good. Monica said, I like Koth up till he went to school in Name of the Wind. Then it was really hard for me to be in his head. Yeah. Miserable character. Damn, okay. HR said, I finished The Road the other day. The unrelenting, sad state of how they were living while on the road day after day made for a very depressing read. I love the ending paragraph, though. Haunting AF. Yeah. I love The Road. I think the movie's also fabulous. Big fan. One of my favorite post-apocalypse. I think that is the book that, well, I saw the movie first. I think that movie is what made me fall in love with post-apocalyptic fiction alongside of Battlefield Earth, which is ironic because The Road is a great film, whereas Battlefield Earth is a dog shit film. By the way, Baker's writing a prequel. I talked about this a little bit earlier. If you want to hear my thoughts on it, I'm very confused. Plan on reading any manga this year, Jimmy? Yeah, I actually have a short list. The last time I streamed, I had some awesome person in chat that was giving me all these recommendations, and they sounded awesome. So I am hoping to read some manga this year. And don't tell anybody, but I am reading One Piece again. It took a long break from all the One Piece people, but we're going to get back on that train. That's why I keep a reading journal. I like that. I really want to read the R.R. Verdi trilogy. Janie Ward says the main character is way better than Koth, and the story's better. I know the rumors about the first binding aren't great, but Janie has great taste. So I've seen the passages, okay? They're real close. They're real close. This is a lot to unpack, and I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to move on because I'll be here for 15 minutes. But you should, if you want to try it, you should definitely try it. He actually signed books at my local Barnes & Noble. I didn't go, but there was a bunch of autographed copies there. I have thought about reading it because I'm like, well, why not? Like if it is like Name of the Wind, as much as it seems like it is, like why not try it? And maybe I will one day. I do know a couple people that don't like it as much. I feel like I thought Maquin was also bald. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I thought he was bald, but he had long hair. I'm pretty sure. And I was like, John, don't ruin my headcanon. Dude, I do the same thing if I feel strongly about the baldness. Or I'm sorry, strongly about the character's look. Big debate in the Gene Wolfe fandom about the baldness or lack of there of Bald Anders. He has to be bald. His name is Bald Anders. Right? Maquin, he's one of my favorites, a salt and pepper hero. Like, oh, dude, salt and pepper heroes are the jam. And I got to tell you, I do think Maquin would make, like, if I did a top 20 fantasy characters of all time, Maquin makes the list for sure. Has King ever played around with the self-driving cars? Like nowadays, not that oldie with the car that comes to life. Well, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, yeah, he has a couple of cars that come to life, but Mr. Mercedes is a whole King trilogy stemming from a vehicular manslaughter. It's around half of his bibliography. Yeah, he's probably 2, 3. Yeah, man, he's written a lot of books, man. Jedi said, I've read 33 of King's novels since 2021. He's one of my top 3 favorite authors ever. I don't know if I can get, I don't know I can even get some stuff out of his bad books too. As long as you're getting some or not even, it doesn't really matter, right? But that's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. Yeah, I've read Dark Tower. Yes, New King is bad. I've not picked him up since Holly crashed The Outsider. I've watched the show. I haven't read the Outsider book. I do own it. I 11/22/63. I guess it's been 10 years, but I thought that book was fabulous. I'm talking about a King book in my rap. Are you self-promoting during my stream, Joanna? How dare you? What do you think? We share an audience? We do. I'm only kidding, Joanna. Brian Rogers said, I've only made it through the first installment of Book of the New Sun. It might come back, but I didn't feel like immediately continuing. Severian is a horn dog. That doesn't get any better. However, I thought books 2, 3, and 4 were better than book 1 by a pretty large margin, especially books 2 and 3. So I would implore you to keep going if you feel like it. A lot of people, dude, I mean, I should know this because Stephen King's like one of the most prolific authors. He's sold millions of books. He's probably a billionaire at this point. But the amount of people in chat who have read like 30 plus Stephen King books is very surprising. And it makes me want to get to more King. Be cool. I have read a lot of his short story collection. Oh, I forgot. I read You Like It Darker. I read Night Shift. And I think I read one more. So yeah, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I've probably read like 16, if you count the short story collection, probably 16, 17 books. Revival was 2014. Very cool. Cool. I'm afraid of saying Moorcock on my channel after getting teased. Moorcock. I made a really bad joke whenever I reviewed Elric about, nuts and Moorcock. I had Bobby B say it though to get, keep me clean, which was nice. I think Revival is the last good book King has written. Damn. Okay. No love for 11/22/63. Hate to see it. Can't stay long, but love the new to me glasses. Justin, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Justin, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. I'm dead serious. Had a mental health episode listening to Alzavo's Soup episode. Open invite to meet on the street beefs with those dudes both at the same time. Mitch, can you just DM me and explain this? I'm so curious. King Killer, one of those that I love a lot, just don't have any urge to convince any of the haters that it's good. I feel very much the same. Like I enjoyed my time, but when someone's like just sitting there, just, Hershey squirting all over it, I will not come to its defense. I just don't care. Same exact feeling with First Law. Love First Law. I see people all the time read it and say, it's just trash. And I just don't care. Not in the sense that like I'm mad. It's just like, okay, cool. I love it. I will not offend it. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's the works that I haven't thought about very deeply because it was very much like just entertainment when I read. Not saying that's all it is. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know. That's something I want to think about. Is Fifth Head better than those two overrated science fiction classics, Neuromancer and Hyperion? In my opinion, yes, but I like Neuromancer and Hyperion. Dan Simmons is kind of a tool bag, but yeah, I like Neuromancer and Hyperion a decent amount. Battle for Earth is a better book than film, though it's much too long. Yeah, it's way too long for me to try. Jimmy, did you see King's post that his new books, Otherworlds Than These, is the final Dark Tower novel? Yes, and I believe it's the finishing thing from him and Straub's little venture together. Straub has obviously passed away. I will most likely read this, and I'm going to be honest, guys, and I know this is going to hurt my credentials as a reader. I don't think I'm going to read the prior two novels just because I've heard they're so lackluster and long. I might just find out what happened in those and then read this last one, because if he's saying it's the final Dark Tower novel, that is major. I'll tell you what, maybe I would read the first two, at least try them. Do you know when does this Otherworlds Than These come out? Do we have a release date? Because I'd be interested. One Piece, awesome. Yeah, I love One Piece. I'm watching a Reincarnated as a Slime, great anime. It's dumb but easy watching. That is the most anime name I have literally ever heard. I used the first binding hardback to keep my kitten's bedroom door closed before I fixed the hinge. Mitch said, make one has a skullet. Going to try it out too. Good for you. I've been reading Stephen Fry's Greek mythology books, and they're so good. I think you'd really like them, Jimbo. I will look at those for sure. I still need to read Circe by Madeline Miller. I really liked the Achilles, A Song for Achilles. Bookborn is reading One Piece. Watch her get a mythical Oda interview. Why not? Why not? Y'all should watch the stripped cover lit discussion on the road. Really good. Then watch Steve Donahue's destruction. Yeah, I've seen Steve's videos. I wasn't very compelled by his criticisms, but it was entertaining. I'll give you that. I'll be bald before too long. Rest in pepperonis. Battlefield Earth is probably the first science fiction book that I ever read in junior high, and I loved it. I did not know he was a cult leader, similar to your Nazi scenario. All right, to be fair, I think a Nazi is far worse. Not saying that L. Ron Hubbard is, a stand. I'm not letting L. Ron Hubbard babysit by any means. He's not cat sitting for me, but I do think my scenario is more embarrassing. Hey, Heidi, I love the movie. I think I could watch it today and probably find it at least to be absurdly funny. Makewood is such an amazing character. Completely stole the spotlight once it became a main focus plot of book 2 onwards. Couldn't agree more. Donahue's road discussion is ridiculous. There were times I wanted to scream at the screen. It doesn't matter that it isn't explained. Really disingenuous at times. Didn't you just have Steve on your channel a while ago? Why didn't you ask him about it? That'd have been interesting. I would have loved to watch that. I know I watched that discussion. You should have brought that up. I never regret buying a book, even if I didn't like it. The first binding is the exception to that. God damn. Okay. Oh, so now we're shaming horn dogs. I know no bigger horn dog than Jared Henderson. 11/22/63 Revival are the last truly good King novels, in my opinion. But some stories' latest collection were fun. I thought You Like It Darker short story collection, while repetitive at times, was pretty awesome. There was some stories in there that I would consider 5-star short stories, personally. If Joanna is going to self-promote, I'm dropping a War of the Flowers review on Wednesday. Now, this is the type of self-promotion I want to see, okay? Not Stephen King reviews. Who needs that? War of the Flowers, folks. That's what you need. You need more reviews of War of the Flowers to convince you. If I couldn't convince you, surely Andrew could. He's a lot more influential than I am, I would say. I've read most of his bibliography, not the newer stuff, though. We'll get to it eventually. Cool. Misery is so phenomenal. In short, I bet you would love it, Jimmy. I've seen the movie. It's phenomenal with Kathy Bates. I will definitely read it. I have it back there on the shelf. Book of the New Sun is amazing. I can see why some people don't like it, but it's so ahead of its time and interesting. I love Book of the New Sun, to be very clear. More people have read 30 plus King books, but here's the thing, and this is the first book in that series that goes into the new one, the Last Dark Tower book, said, I haven't picked one up again since The Talisman, which was so bad that it put me in a long King cooler. By the way, King cooler, very, very cool, Brian. I like the way you did that. Derry said, I feel like pre-booktube and the gazillion book racks we get now, Stephen King was the McDonald's of book buying. You could, yes, Derry, this 1,000% for sure. I'm also starting my reread of the Odyssey, which I'll be doing a read. All right, is everyone self-plugging? Is this what we're doing right now? So you could ask if Jimmy Nuts likes to read sci-fi like Dick and then add more. I think so. My favorite King books are that are under the radar. Dreamcatcher, I love the movie. The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and Doomakey. I forgot about Doomakey. I haven't read it, but actually I was between like the 3 King books I really want to get to. The Shining, which I've said I was going to read every year for the last 3 years, and I haven't. The Shining, Doomakey, and Revival. Doomakey will most likely be... you know what I should do? Maybe I should do this. I should start Doomakey and see if I like it more Revival, and then read whichever one's more compelling. I did get Revival from the library, though, the audiobook, so might win. Monica said, Carrie's getting a new adaptation from Michael Flanagan. He did, yeah, I know who Flanagan is. He's the GOAT, other than Midnight Club. Carrie getting a new adaptation. I will say, I've seen that movie so many times that I'm a little burnt out. Did we get a Carrie remake already? It's probably been 15 years at this point or something. I'm sure someone will tell me. Didn't we already get a Carrie remake? Or am I wrong? But if Michael Flanagan's doing, I'll watch it regardless. Doesn't matter. Andrew said, I enjoyed 95% of the first Law trilogy, just didn't like the last couple chapters of book 3. That's fair. That's fair. The ending is pretty absurd. I liked it personally, and I like circular things. But I can understand why someone doesn't like the end of that trilogy, for sure. We're reading The Talisman and Black House. Yeah, I've heard Black House is decent. I've heard Talisman's pretty rough. And then I say that, and Dilcor said Talisman is fun, Black House is not. That's why you gotta love the internet. I'll just be very arrogant and say, you got to love my community. Well, look at the plethora of opinions that we have here tonight. Really showing off a wide range of thoughts and opinions because we're super smart here. Nick Scarfield said, yeah, Hamsun is easily our most controversial author in Norway, yet his skill and influence is undeniable. So we tend to be open about those aside of him. James Joyce learned Norwegian to read him. Yeah, a lot of people say that hunger influenced James Joyce to write Ulysses or paved the way so that he could run down the streets of Dublin. I have to head out. Good night, Jimmy in chat. Good night, Joanna. Have a great night. I'm still not starting Dark Tower until I get all the other books that reference it. It might be a bad decision. So Thorno, I did the opposite. I read Dark Tower before, other than Salem's Lot. And for me, it was motivation to read those other books because I probably was never going to read Insomnia, but now I will, which is cool. You don't need to read Circe, my least favorite read of all time. Tom, once again, you think there's no slog in the Wheel of Time. That makes me want to read Circe even more. Did you read Song of Achilles? Because if you liked it and didn't like Circe, I actually would be like, okay, that's interesting. But if you haven't read Song of Achilles, like, I don't know if they're very similar, but Circe would be great to read before the Nolan Odyssey movie this summer. Okay. Jumi Kim for no. There wasn't enough time, sadly. Britain, there was enough time. Let's be honest. There was enough time. You could have confronted him. We need some debates here. You know what I'm saying? I haven't read Circe, but I did start Heart of Achilles. Oh, is it Heart of Achilles? I thought it was Song of Achilles. I don't know which one it is. It was a straight woman's therapy projecting her trauma onto the bodies of gay men. That sounds ideal. Four corners of the page said Fairy Tale was a disaster. Hey, dude. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I actually forgot this. I read the first 25% of Fairy Tale and loved it. And everyone was dumping on it so bad after the first 25%. Like everyone's like, starts out great. It's terrible after that. That I DNF'd it. I was influenced. I think at the time, though, I was kind of like, all right, if I can move on, I will. I had something else I was reading at the time. I really like the story in You Like It Darker where the old guy beats the hooligans to death with a signed Ted Williams bat. Very cool. Oh, my goodness. Misery. Good title for this live stream. Oh, Other Worlds is October this year. Okay. Haven't read Black House, but Talisman is pretty hard in some areas, especially the one character that says their own name made the audiobook almost a DNF. Okay. If it's out in October, there's not a chance in hell that I will read Talisman and Black House since then. So it's going to have to be the wiki articles for me. Ben said, once a week, I think about dropping a tier ranking of every single King book video, but how do I make it interesting? I think, one, your hair would make it interesting. It's lovely. You know what you should do? You should play guitar riffs while doing it. And you have to match the guitar riffs to the King novel, because I know you're a great guitarist. I would watch the shit out of that. Jared is hate watching the stream right now. Jared's been hate watching the channel for quite long. So Duma Key was fantastic. The premise of Duma Key sounds like the most interesting premise outside of 11/22/63 that I've read, which is pretty cool. Here's another promo. I was so motivated by how bad I thought Sun Eater was after finishing series that I'm going to start a channel so I can tear it down. Hey, more power to you. We need more opinions and a range of them. I'm down. I will certainly tune in. Are there any videos or podcasts that you did, Jimmy, that would be safe for the first time reads of A Song of Ice and Fire, 250 pages in the Clash Kings? No, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Everything I've ever done for A Song of Ice and Fire, which at this point is like hundreds of hours, if you include Bend the Knee, of course, it's all spoilers. So, sorry. You could watch my Game of Thrones discussion on Alan's channel that you were a part of, if you really want to. If you want to pretend like you weren't there. Duma Key is underrated. I recommended it to Tori, and she loved it. Gave it 5 stars. Her only King read to date. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's already been 3 Carrie movies. I'm glad that I didn't black out and just make that up. That makes me happy. Yeah, so, I mean, people, yeah. Here's the thing. I would say we don't need another Carrie, but if Flanagan's doing it, I'm down. Like, Flanagan could remake whatever. He could remake the Bible, and I would read it. I think the remake of Chloe Grace Moretz, maybe I'm not sure, unfortunately. Yeah, the remake wasn't great. The original was really good, unless people hate it. I really like it. Speaking of self-promotion, this is from BellTube, said, I made 0 videos in April. Feel free to watch the backlog. Pretty good. Hobo Giant said, reading Salem's Lot sent me down a path of reading tons of small town books, open to people's favorite small town settings and books if you want to share. A book I talked about earlier called Penance by Eliza Clark. The small town vibes are immaculate. The other recommendation for small town feels, without a doubt, is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. It's brutal. I think that and Penance are must reads if you're into that. Yeah, the old movie was better. Sissy Spacek actually looked the part of a mousy, bullied girl. Okay. Talisman was all right. I didn't hate it, but it's not a favorite. Okay. Talisman is one of the most annoying and grating characters I've ever read in fiction. The yin and yang of all this is so funny to me. You know, if they want to cash in, they should remake of Shawshank. Really get the rage flowing, you know. I need to read Shawshank and watch it. I haven't done either. Oh, is Jared still here? I thought of you when I finished The Man in the High Castle. The second half is pure philosophy with a dash of LSD moment, I presume. I really like that book. More so for its ideas and premise than I do its actual, like, narrative. But yeah, Man in the High Castle. I love the TV show a ton. Yeah, there was a Carrie remake, pretty emo. Mike Flanagan's Midnight Mass was so great that I'm looking forward to this Carrie or Dark Tower. I know he wants to make Dark Tower. I don't know if he's going to be able to, but if he made Dark Tower, I would tune in. Like I said, I'd tune in for anything. So Insomnia is underrated. I consider it Dark Tower 6.5. That makes me really want to read it, to be honest. I've legit been considering learning French to read La Horde du Contrevent. I'm an old dog, though. Don't got any new tricks in me. I feel like you made this entire troll comment just to get me to read that name aloud. Tom has not read Song of Achilles. Tom, I can't trust you. Maybe you should read the sample and tell me if you think it's the same and you think it's ass. Fairy Tale, great. First 30% as soon as it portals, it was rough. I think it was a bad rehash of something wicked comes this way. Ben is going to make the guitar riff Stephen King rankings. It should be Australian ranks all Stephen King novels while playing sick riffs. There's your video title. Or you could say, and I've really been wanting to do this, and I would love to see what your chat thinks. I've been thinking about taking like a different approach to thumbnails and titles of my videos. And I was thinking about being really crude. Like when we made the thumbnail last month for Catching Fire, what I wanted to make the thumbnail was me holding up Catching Fire. And then I wanted to put on the right side, is it dog shit? Mrs. Nuts wouldn't let me do that, but I thought it was funny. Like just, you know what I'm talking about. These YouTube videos where the question is obviously answerable. Like, you know, the answer, like, did I hate it? No, you didn't hate it. No one who ever titles a video or a thumbnail, did I hate it, hates it. Never, not once. It's never happened. So I thought it'd be funny to like take it to the next extreme. Like, is this dog shit? My channel might just become a like combination of just taking the piss out of the platform that I make videos on. Jimbo, how's the PRS going? Been practicing my I can't say that word. I know what it is, but I can't say it. For like 6 hours a day the past month. Damn, good for you. It's going well. I'm definitely kind of like treading water and just playing the same things over and over since it's summer and I'm getting outside and playing golf all the time. But I'm maintaining my skills, still working on my scales and stuff. But man, PRS makes a sick guitar. I'm also touring their factory in June, I think. My ploy to plug your own channel worked. Thank you. I've stopped listening to audiobooks while running. Just listen to Tool now. My times are so much better. Valid. Oh man, Kevin, good recommendation. Tony Patrick was asking, or I'm sorry, not Tony Patrick. Hobo Giant was asking about small town novels. Ohio by Stephen Markley is S tier for sure. For sure. Now this is Tony Patrick saying, what's your favorite decade of fantasy books? Mine is the 90s, A Song of Ice and Fire, Farseer, Live Shift. You know, most of A Song of Ice and Fire was published from 2000 to 2010, which is going to be my pick because a lot of the books that I love were published in that time period, including First Law, which I didn't realize until recently. And I think there was some Realm of the Elderling stuff published in 2000, 2010. So very cool. Thanks, Jimmy. I joined late and didn't hear the Penance talk. We'll definitely check it out. Yeah. And honestly, hobo. I said my Beartown and whatnot, but I actually think Ohio with Steve Markley is maybe the best small town book I've ever read. Oh my God, Jimmy, you still haven't seen Shawshank? I have not. I'm sorry. The Alan from the Library of Alexandria, a blast from the past, says The Talisman sucks. He said 6, but he meant sucks. Man in the High Castle is my favorite Dick novel. Oh, dude, I didn't know that. I would plug my talk with philosopher Gregory B. Sadler, but I know you won't watch it because you're too important. But we had a phenomenal time talking about the I Ching. I don't know how to say it. The book of whatever, and how it influenced the novel is kind of cool. No, I have not seen Shawshank Redemption, guys. I'm sorry. How good is The Dead Zone? I'm thinking about reading it. I don't know, but I would like to read it. I watched the TV show back in the day. Sucks, not 6. I knew what you meant. It's the inspiration for Claire Obscure, supposed to be an excellent and experimental, hard to translate due to its wordplay. Damn, okay. Okay, great chat. I got a dip. Have a great night. See you, Andrew. Have a great night, man. Hope the family is well. Are you going to hold dog shit? Could you imagine if I held Catching Fire or the next like Hunger Games novel and dog poop? And like you could just do the poop emoji and be like, is it dog shit? I think I would get a lot of clicks. They wouldn't stick around, but it would be funny. Make a thumbnail with you gasping and put your hands on your head. I don't think I've ever done I should do that sometime. I know I've taken the picture thinking I was going to use it. And then as I was making the thumbnail, I was like, I'm over 30 years old. I can't do this. Like I can't. So apparently that French novel, by the way, that Mitch is mentioning being the inspiration for Expedition 33, is legitimately one of the best fantasy books ever written and needs a translation. This is said by ADHD Reader, which now I want to learn French. God damn. Ubik, Greater High Castle. I like High Castle premise the most out of many books that I've read. Honestly, it's probably like one of my favorite premises. I do think as a book, Ubik is better. I agree with you. Scanner Darkly is my favorite PKD novel. I was supposed to read that last year and I didn't. I need to. Dead Zone's good. Dead Zone's his best. Okay. Anitha has watched Shawshank Redemption multiple times. Okay. Jared said, I read Ubik again this year. Was disappointed. Sad. I'm now going to log off and read The Expanse. Yawn. God, you're so insufferable, Jared. I love you so much. Jimmy, if you want a total weird read, The Toaster Project is a nonfiction book about a man who tries to build a toaster from all of its components from raw materials that make it. Is there a twist to that? Because that sounds awfully dry. Oh, man. Okay, let's get to the Patreon pick of the month. This has went on long. We've had a lot of... I got to tell you guys, this is one of the best chat performances in a long time. You guys have really done a hell of a job. People are going to look at the length of the stream and then realize that I only talked about 3 books and be like, what in the hell happened on this one? Dr. Nerdcraft said, y'all made me curious, so I started Googling. La Horde du Contrevant is coming out in English this fall, available for pre-order. That is huge. This is huge, guys. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm gonna pre-order it right now. We're gonna do this live. Big moves here from me. La Horde. Why do I keep trying to say? Okay, here we go. We got it. Do I see the pre-order? I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a pre-order. Dude, if you're trolling, this is one of the better trolls I've seen. I gotta tell you. This would be one of the best trolls that has ever happened in the live chat. That is not it. Yikes! This isn't good. Man, did we get trolled? We might have got trolled. Let's take a gander here. I don't see any translation. Did we? Oh man, he might have got me. Okay, so I'll wait. Horde of the Counterwind is the English title. Huge update here coming out of Nerdcraft's camp, and supposedly a different title. We have a different title here. So Horde of the Counterwind. I can confirm it is a real thing. It's coming out on October 13th. I just did a new releases stream, and I told you guys how ridiculously stacked September and October specifically was for this year. Add it to the scoreboard, folks, because this is big, massive. Consider it even says international masterpiece. I mean, this is incredible. I have just officially pre-ordered this novel. Will I read it in this year? Probably not. Probably not. Hey, Dr. Nerdcraft, good looking out, dude. Good looking out. Oh, there's May Between the Pages. I've never felt more stupid than when taking thumbnails for dramatic effect. Yeah, it's a rough look. Listen, I was looking through some. Oh, the translation is the first result. Not on mine. I swear. Have you ever played Baldur's Gate 3? There's an Asterion book coming later this year by Ting Kingfisher. I will definitely check that out for sure. That'd be cool. This must have come out in the last 2 days. I was just deep diving this. Hopefully the translation is good. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you always hope. About thumbnails. I was looking at some thumbnails from people, and I was like, man, YouTube's cringe. YouTube's embarrassing. And then I started going through my videos and looking at my thumbnails, and I had like an existential crisis where I was like, I had the realization like, oh, I'm cringe. Like, I'm the worst. I'm one of these people. And I've made a mockery of myself on the internet for all to see. And it made me want to delete my channel. Thumbnail pictures are easily my least favorite thing about all of this, which is why I reuse pictures, because I refuse to take any new ones. I really struggle with it. It's just so bad. I hate it so much. But what can you do? It's part of the game, I guess. Yeah, I am one of these people. Yeah, I am. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem. I'm not talking down about anyone. I'm doing it. But good God, what am I doing? I'm 35. That's tough. That's a tough look whenever you realize that you, in fact, are the cringe. Okay, Patreon pick of the month. Okay, I got to drag this over here because I can't see anything when it's on my little teleprompter. Thank you to all my patrons that support. Also, anybody that just subscribes, likes the stream, all that good stuff. Which, by the way, drop a like if you want. I honestly don't care. This channel's it's dead. But let's do the Patreon's not. The Patreon, I have a very dedicated amount of people who now support the channel, and I got to tell you, means the world to me. I don't understand it still, maybe even less so nowadays. But we're gonna find out who wins for the month of May, and you know what? I'll say it. I have a long plane ride, so if there's ever been a month where I'm okay with a long book, this is it. Okay? I'm saying it now. I am okay with a long book. That means I will draw the shortest one because we know how this goes. Let's see who wins the Patreon pick of the month for May. Okay. What do we got here? All right. In chat, I want you guys, so we have 101 picks on this board, which is insane. Put in the what number do you guys think I'm about to pull? I'm gonna pull it. I got it in my hand. You can see I'm no number. I want to see in chat what people think number is going to be pulled. I'm only gonna wait for like 15 seconds. So hurry up. I'm so hungry. I know what it is. We have 161.35. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9. Oh God, so many. Just another guess has hit the towers. 135, 67, 69. Nice. 19, 67. 52, 77, 73, 163, 60. Well, a lot of 60s. 4774, 4782. Okay. Nobody guessed it. And the answer is number 20. Turn it. Number 22. And it is from Social TS, who has supported the channel for a really long time. Shout out to you. Always appreciate you. Notes from the Burning Age by Claire North. Folks, it is my pleasure to tell you I have no idea what this book is about. So I am now going to Google it. Dude, I love that the Patron pick is always just some madness. Absolute madness. Notes from the Burning Age. Notes from the At least it's not Notes from the Underground by that hack Dostoevsky. I'm kidding. He's not a hack. Okay. Chill. Okay. We're in. Notes from the Burning Age is a dystopian science fiction novel by Catherine Webb, writing under the pseudonym of Claire North about a future society rebuilding after a climate catastrophe where a former archivist named Venn gets caught in a conflict between his religious order and a revolutionary group seeking to reclaim the dangerous knowledge of the past. I'm going to stop reading there because this sounds sick. I'm so excited for this. It almost sounds like Canticle for Leibowitz, kind of post-apocalyptic religious order. It's kind of what I'm thinking of. This sounds fantastic. I love post-apocalyptic fiction. You guys know this. We all know this. I've basically only read those type of books last year after I looked back on it. Dude, I am not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited about this. I think that this could be a banger. Okay, I had to do it. After saying I hate like stupid faces. Good times. Yeah, okay. So that one's going to be good. Let's see. Only 400 pages. Pull another. I would if I didn't have two books I got to finish. This, and one of them is a King novel, so you'll be happy. And the other one is one you already finished, which is The Keeper by Tana French, which I guess I'm talking to you guys about what I'm going to be reading this month. Notes from the Burning Age. Super, super excited about this. Dude, this might be good. This might be good. Let's go, Matt. Let's go. I would pull another, guys, but I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. Claire North is awesome. I'm glad. Well, Evie said she saw this is interesting. Holy cats, that sounds amazing. Sounds absolute fire. Will you join me, brothers and sisters? Will you reach out to the television screen? Put your hand on the screen right now and say, Jimmy, brother Jimmy, I will read along with you in the month of May. I gotta delete this channel. I gotta quit. Mockingjay. Tony, I think the hold from the library is coming up. So Mockingjay would probably be my stretch goal, as we call them. I would probably have the stretch goal of that, I think. Pull it out. All right, relax. I ain't reading shit until Horde of the Counter one is out. Brother Jimmy, I won't brother Jimbo. That hurts, Jimmy, that hurts. I actually really hope you guys will join me. So I'm reading the Patreon pick. I'm thrilled about it. Revival by Stephen King. Like I said, I'm about 25% of the way through, if that. I want to finish that, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of want to start Doomickey and see which one I would rather finish. So that could happen. You'll have to tune in next month to find out. And I will also be reading The Keeper by Tana French as I am heading to Ireland. And she is the cherished prize of Ireland, in my opinion. Forget Rory McIlroy. It is all about Tana French in this household. I actually love Rory as well. So that's 3 books. Stretch goals, Mockingjay. I want to wrap up The Hunger Games. I'm actually pretty excited to read it, to be honest with you. I know it's the most controversial of the 3 books, so I think that could be really cool. The pick was called Notes from the Burning Age by Claire North. So read it. Jimmy is a new level of hangry. Slap happy hungry. Yeah, honestly. Praise Jeebus. I will read with you. Thank you. I would read along with you, Jimmy. I don't like excuses, but I am one of my worst reading slumps ever. Only nonfiction work. Well, I'm sorry going through reading slump. I didn't realize it was that serious. But Paloma, Cranky Pants, which is kind of a funny name. Did you change your username? It definitely was not Paloma Cranky Pants. I hope you get out of it. I get it. Urth put me there. It's the Lord that wants me to read, Brother Jimmy. The Lord is the given word. Jimmy, will you be joining the Steinbeck read-along that seems to be burgeoning your Discord next month? What is the read? Because I want to read Grapes of Wrath first and then East of Eden, because I think Grapes of Wrath will probably be my favorite of them. I think. Revival has a crazy ending. Okay. I enjoyed Revival more than Duma. Okay. Carrie guessed 44. If you times the pick by 2, you would have got it. Rory is from Northern Ireland. Slander. What's even in Ireland? Game of Thrones tours, Matt. You should know that. I'm doing the Game of Thrones studio tour in Belfast one of the days. I'll be sitting in Dublin most of those days, though. Roy is a chump. Tell that to a Grand Slam winner. Forgetting McGregor purposely. What a scumbag. Thanks, Jimbo. Hey, anytime, bud. Speaking of Rory, have you been golfing this season? I'll be out with my new wedges set 10 a.m. Sunday. I have. That's why I'm burnt. Well, I guess you can't see it. Can you see the hand? The glove tan is righteous right now. Yeah, we be golfing. Having a pretty up and down season, but have set some new new personal records. I'm just laughing at Matt getting called out. This is funny. McScarfield said, I've read virtually no chunkers over 500 pages in my book with this whole spring, so a rather high quantity of books. But if you looked at the page count, it would not be so impressive. It's impressive anyways. Folks, if you read 3 books a year, you read more than like 99% of people. And I actually think it's 1 book, but I'm being generous and saying 3. We are all very, very high performers. Simon said, I just DNF Slow God, so I'm scared for Jimmy reading North. Listen. Premise can carry a lot, okay? I've excused a lot of bad post-apocalyptic fiction because I just love post-apocalyptic stuff. So, Grapes of Wrath is a very, very good book. I believe that is the popular opinion. It was Paloma showing at first, even though the Cranky Pants was always part of it, and then it changed. I don't know what happened. How can I lose only 20 subs a month? Well, for the easy payment of $5.99 a month. Well, we're in a recession. $9.99 a month, Brian. I can show you the secrets that YouTube pros hate for you to know. East of Eden Steinbeck's masterpiece. Prove it. Give Carlos and Yolanda my love. I will absolutely not do that, Britt. I'm reading Assassin's Fate right now, then rereading A Song of Ice and Fire for the first time. I can't think of many things better to do with your time. Duma, never heard of it. You must mean Numa from Fear Inoculus. Jeez, so Liz. Fly to Raph's house. I don't think he'd let me in. That would be funny. Drinks would be had. It would be a good time. Folks, I think my May sounds really good. Do you guys think it sounds good? Mockingjay. I guess it's 2 dystopian books, right? Notes from the Burning Age. And then, of course, we have Revival. I really, what was the other one? I'm forgetting one already. Shit. What was the other one? Guys, help me out. Patreon pick. Revival, Mockingjay. Oh, The Keeper by Tana French. I got there. Don't tell me. Man. I feel like that month's pretty solid. I might try to sneak in a fantasy book that I need, and it's from a series I've been reading that I need to read more of. I will let you try to guess which that is. I'm not going to tell you until next month because I might not even read it. We'll see. Duffy said, I hold a 33 and a 45-foot putt on 2 successive holes yesterday, then 3 putted the rest around. That's golf. Well, Duffy, I 2 putted every hole today on 18, and I regret to tell you that, and I'm not exaggerating, easily over 10 to 12 putts missed either by lip out or 1 inch, like rolled over the hole. Unbelievable. My 2 play partners were starting to gamble on whether I could do it again, and I kept doing it. I feel your pain. Yenna said, we'd love a chat about all the post-apocalyptic novels you read, Jimmy. That would be a great tier ranking video. Super Gainsborough said, there's only a podcast for people who are getting into A Song of Ice and Fire. The problem is, Matt, is that we talk full spoilers. That's the problem. Someone actually asked earlier if any of the content I've done is like not full spoilers. And I'm like, no, not really, unfortunately. But Yeah, the series is too good. It's a reread. And let's be honest, Matt, we have the most fun talking about the crazy shit, right? I would love to go back to Ireland. Tom, I would love you to go back to Ireland as well, to be honest with you. The Keeper. Thank you. Specifically Galway. Listen, we're a Dublin family here, okay? Keep it clean. How about a utopian book to even it out? I have read a utopian book called Player of Games by Ian M. Banks from the Culture series, and it is a 5-star science fiction book. I would highly recommend it. And the downsides of a utopia, I mean, really, the culture in general is a utopia. What an amazing series that is. I need to read Accession. Mitch thinks my month sounds ass. Lost first 4 episodes by the end of the year. They're all short books, fairly short. Yeah, I would agree. My May is to get through the darkness that comes before and then Parade of Horribles. Very cool. Discworld is your guess. I heard you're reading Fires of Heaven and Wheel of Time. I finished Fires of Heaven and I didn't like it. I liked it up to the ending. I don't need a 700-page. Black Company or nothing. I forgot about Black Company, so it's not that, unfortunately. I love Wii Sports Gold. Does that count? Yes. I think that book has more clowns than it. Jimmy, have you talked about Baker writing a prequel? Thoughts? I did. Long story short, I'm very confused by what's going on with Baker. His comments were contradictory. The more I read from him, the more I don't know what the hell's going on. So, not sure. Also, you meant Wii Golf. I gotcha. Sounds like too short of a rating monthly. Definitely pull another number. I'm tempted, but it seems like 3 books has been my average for the last few months, so I don't want to push it. I also don't want to be stressed during, I'm going to be in Ireland for quite a few days. I'm not going to read it all during those days, right? So I gotta plan ahead. Jimmy's finally catching up on that one Winds of Winter fan fiction. Sorry, Preston, I'm not. How do you get a birdie? Leave your eagle putt 6 feet short. Man, 6 feet. I don't know. Or 6 inches. Guys, I'm losing it. I'm reading Dune right now. First time. Good for you. Invite me to your home and give me this Susquehanna weed, Jimmy. Come on, guy. I've got a Parade of Horribles and Archangel's Ascension up this month alongside what I'm probably going to read chapters 3 and 4 of Gardens of Moon. Derry, I love that you're reading Malaz, and I think it's awesome. I'm very, very confused what's going on with Baker. I suppose that sums it up with him really anytime. I would agree completely. Okay, guys and ladies and gals and everything else in between. Jimmy, when are you reading Crash by Ballard? It's busting all. They be busting over intentional vehicular manslaughter. I guess I might have to. Tom said we liked Dublin. It was just crazy busy. We were there for the Steelers-Vikings game. I could see it being busy. I had the benefit of being with Carlson and Yolanda from StoryTube, so I didn't do any of the tourist stuff. Or the like Temple Bar, all that stuff. None of that. I was very fortunate to be in different parts of the city. Like I went to one bar that is in a very blue collar side of town, which was really cool. It's connected to a graveyard. Yeah, I could see this for sure. I just felt like I got such a cool tour from Carlos telling me all this, the history. It was really cool. Really, really cool. And by the way, I'm kidding. I actually really would love to see Galway. I'd love to see Cork and everything Ireland has to offer. It's a lovely place. And I think we're also going to, maybe I can convince Mrs. Nuts to look at some property. Crash movie by Cronenberg. Wait, is Crash the movie based on Crash the book? Because I love Crash the movie. It's fantastic. Jimmy, as I previously said, I love your face. Chad, I know and love most of your faces too. The rest of you, try harder. Thank you, Derry, very much. Enjoy those Urth of the New Sun spoilers, you coward. I am so happy that I can dislike a book that people like and they can be friendly about it. This is good. I like this quite a bit. Thank you for a great Friday night, Jimmy. Thank you for being here. Great stream, great chat. Thank you to everyone for a delightful Friday night. Reading an arc of Exit Party this week while I wait for Memories of Ice to show up at my door. Carrie, are you not having the greatest spring ever in the year of 2026? I talked about new releases. The Exit Party now is like, number 1 most hype release from Emily St. John Mandel, Eric, whatever. She has 85 fucking names, but I'm so excited about it. Folks, I get Irish Realtor Reels on Instagram all the time. Me too. Oh yeah, Dublin with Carlson and Alana was different. It was sick. It was amazing. Folks, that is going to wrap up this stream here on this beautiful Friday night with all you beautiful people in the chat and the people commenting afterwards. If you have any recommendations for me, please drop them in the comments below. Even if you drop them in chat, it just makes it a little bit easier to track for me because I do take the recommendations seriously. If it sounds good, I read it. Notes from the Burning Age will be the Patreon pick. I'm actually pumped for it. I think it's going to be really good. I don't know anything else about it other than the premise, but we'll have to see. Okay, before I go, I got to read this. Putrid Sunrise said, the Crash movie I'm talking about is the one where people get sexual kicks from getting into car crashes. If that's the one you watch, which is better than the other Crash, then yes. No, I'm talking about the one with multiple perspectives. That one, I think it won an Oscar, I'm pretty sure. You're better at remembering her name than you think you are. You're doing good. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful May. I'll see you in probably right before Ireland, probably. And I might do a tier ranking for post-apocalyptic novels, but maybe I should wait till I finish this one. I don't know. I'll do some other topical stream. That'll be a lot of fun. And if I can't do the live stream, I'll do a normal video of it. Whatever. We'll figure it out. But I hope you have a wonderful month. And if you like the stream, you can hit like. If you hated it, you can hit dislike. That's fine too. And if you love to think about checking out the channel with the subscribe button and turning on the bell for notifications, there is a Patreon in the description. It's optional, but always appreciated. Until we see you next time, be good, be safe, and please remember to always keep turning the page.